My balls feel right. My balls feel tight. My balls feel light. My balls feel right.
Oh!
Oh!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry about the sound.
I thought you were going to apologize for the smell. They don't know.
Sorry,
Wildly Uninteresting podcast. Episode 134.
Is it?
And the button is back.
Yeah, it is.
It felt
The
light
button
when
is
I
back.
picked it up. I was like, oh, he took the batteries
The
again.
son of a bitch did it again.
Nope, the batteries are in the hypo button.
Yes. Hippo.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Wildly Uninteresting podcast with Adam, Ian, and Sarah.
Hey.
Hello.
And it is 2022.
Yes, sir.
Finally.
20 dub deuce.
20 dub deuce.
That will do. The question is,
awesome.
on everybody's mind, this is fucking stupid for people to be like, but I guess it's human nature in a sense, that we celebrate these little milestones for a year. Oh, it's a new year. Let's fucking, yes. But everybody's counting on 2022 to be better than 2021. If I remember correctly, everybody was like, fuck 2019. It's going to be so much better. Or no, 2020. It's going to be so much better in 2021.
Oh, they say the same thing every year.
But they were really hopeful because all the coronavirus shit.
2020 was garbage.
Yeah.
For
like
a lot of people.
Earthquakes.
I
Shit
say
like
I was
that.
fine with it.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I feel like 2020 was better than 2021 for us.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely was.
So that's sad, and that's the thing. I don't understand why humans do that. Like you don't see your cats celebrating each New Year, or each.
Doesn't matter what cats do.
Whatever.
They just sit around licking their bollocks.
What
But-
if you came home one day and your cats were just like they're wearing little hats and like candles and they're just celebrating? It'd be awesome.
That would be
Another
pretty
cat
awesome.
year down.
Yes, cross our fingers.
Maybe thinking, am I going to die? Are they about to
Yes.
eat me?
This is a seance.
I'm
'Cause
cool
it's-
with the whole New Year thing.
I'm okay with
Let's
it. And I get
separate it, you know?
But yeah, I think that for people to be hopeful, okay, so it's different to be hopeful. It's like New Year. All right, I got this new motivation. I'm going to do better things. It's awesome, right? That's okay.
Right.
But when you think that a new year is going to stop spread of a virus, or it is going to stop the stock market from crashing, or it's going to stop inflation or anything like that, or the rising prices in lumber and shit, that's not going to go down just because we celebrated a new year. Like,
No, not just because, but you can associate it with that.
I guess so, but
It's dumb. Let's just,
And it might be.
Yeah, it's
but
dumb.
still.
because really the calendar's fucking made by us anyway. So
it's designed
Yes.
by.
But,
for
if you
us.
take into account astrology,
yes,
the stars align differently this year.
yeah. But do you really think it's going to make a difference?
Yes.
It could possibly
It could.
make a difference.
See?
I'm more inclined to trust the stars than the fact that it's a new year.
And I think too, though, back in the day,
Point
like
proven.
that's all they had to rely on and base things off of, and other civilizations were very adamant about following astrology to predict the weather, predict the I don't know, the fucking
Everything.
everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about stuff I don't
Births.
know. That's always, but I just think that we don't base as much on the above anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
absolutely.
now we have science.
Yeah, I think we overwhelm the world with science. I had watched a video that the guy was so fucking he was like metaphysics and then quantum whatever.
Yes.
He was like, this doesn't make sense. There's nothing that can happen within a spiritual realm or a supernatural realm. He was like, science is like the study of, the base in, material being, I guess. I don't know the true definition for what science is, but it's what's like material. It can be replicated, it can be studied, it can be whatever. But like supernatural.
Quantifiable.
Yeah. And then like supernatural be situations and stuff like that, or spiritual things cannot be replicated. They cannot be studied in the same way. So he was pretty much completely shut down of it. And I'm like, well, maybe he has a point. I was like, maybe that's a construct that we create to make ourselves feel better for whatever, we're studying at the time or going through at the time. Do you believe in the spiritual realm, the supernatural realm, the
Yes.
metaphysical realm?
It doesn't matter what you want to call it.
It's all the same.
We'll just say the unscientific realm.
Yeah, something that can't be proven with material
Well, I
science.
mean, the idea of, because it made me think of deja vu. And it happens. Everybody knows it happens, but we can't explain why it happens.
Right.
So from that perspective, science wouldn't have anything to say about it.
That means it doesn't exist.
We
It's not
can't
real.
measure it. We can't explain it. It's not real. Or,
Not fucking
we're
real.
not even going to bother with it. So that's just kind of like the foot in the door. We're like, all right, well, there's this shit going on that we can't really explain.
Yeah.
What do you think deja vu is?
Ugh. I mean, like, what do I actually think it is? Or like, I think it's an indicator that you're doing things right.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a different answer.
Yeah. What
Most
do you
people.
think?
Oh, I've always thought it was, something to do with your past life, like the person you were before, that you've experienced something of the sort, or maybe it's a timeline thing. Across all the infinite timelines, you have encountered this moment, and then you're encountering it again, and you have that feeling.
Very well could.
Yeah.
But there's so many, like that too, like the different timelines, infinite timelines and stuff like that. That's not proven. Like they're still trying to, I know there are people out there trying to study it and string theory and shit like that, but there's no proof for that. There's no proof for alternative universe. Alternative universes and shit. But people still like heavily believe that that's a possibility. Heavily believe that time travel is a possibility.
Yeah.
If only, what can you travel? Oh, if only if you can travel to the future. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what do you believe in life? That's what kills me. Most people, we make these things that come up. It makes sense in our head, but in reality, what do you believe in? Why pick something and just go with it and make it make sense to yourself?
Just go with it.
And find it's just really based on how big of the group of people that believe in the same thing as you believe that thing, and then, and make you feel like it's right. But what if we're like all completely wrong on everything that we think?
I do like the idea of wandering. I know. Chomo.
Chomo,
Hey,
Sarah.
do you like the idea of going through life just with everybody thinking anything could be real? We could have no idea. It could not be one of these things that we've brought to the table of this is fact. It could be anything. It'd be awesome if that's how people just went through life.
It's not how it's ever going to be, though, because people love to war over their ideals and their religions.
Yeah.
Because people are stupid.
Well, that's
Come to
just small
religion.
mentality.
I have a moral question for you.
Oh, God.
Are you ready for this moral question?
Always.
So I have this customer from
I'm a
from
customer.
way back. We're going to turn
customer.
Sarah's crunching down. From way back, right? I'm going to try to like divert so nobody knows who I'm talking. Knee deep in this job. Knee deep, right? We got a lot of money in this job. We've gone a long way and all this shit. Well, I come up to a point of this job where I'm thousands of dollars into it and all this. And the person, I'm not going to say man or woman, but the person looks at me and they were telling me a story, and they were like, said the N-word 3 times.
Right.
And not the AR, the ER. Or the A.
Yeah.
ER, whatever.
Hard R.
The hard N-word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The real
racist
N-word.
one, not the not the
And
playground one.
And it come across super racist. So here's the moral question. I didn't realize that this is the situation before I started working for the customer.
Right.
I was thinking, man, I just want to like walk off this job and like go on, because it makes you like tense up when somebody's really like that. And why they feel like the need, they've never talked to me about that before, but why they feel the need, like I'm okay with you saying it. Like, what about me makes it
Because your
okay?
hair's so short.
It has to be.
It's the only answer that could possibly be true.
And then, so the moral question here is, I was like, well, you know what? I want to do something for the fact that I can't walk off the job. I'm thousands of dollars into this job. I need to get money back for material. So, do you upcharge the person, add a percentage for the N word?
Yeah, so we should hit them with the hard ER tax.
Yeah. Do you tax them, and then if you do, say you tax them and you get extra money for that extra percentage of money, do you then send that money to, an association that helps, the black community in a way? So it's taking from this racist person in a legal way,
Right.
and then giving it to the community that he hates so much, that they hate so much.
No, I just do the job. Who cares?
And just go on, don't even up the
Yeah,
price.
the guy's an asshole, but no, I mean, I could see where you wouldn't feel bad, like if you charged him like an extra $20, like if it takes longer,
Yeah.
or like because you like to do nice things for people, and you'll kind of cut the price a little bit, all this shit, do things for free, but. With this guy, I could see justifying not doing that.
Not doing
Right,
that.
charging
Yeah.
full price for every single down to the wire knife.
Yeah, like you just buy the book to
Yeah.
the T.
Yeah.
But if you penalize him for being a racist, then that kind of makes you a moral dickhead.
Oh, yeah.
I could see putting it like in your clause, like going forward. Like,
Yeah.
hey, if you're a racist and you make it very clear to me
Yeah.
during the process of this job, there's $100 fine.
You
Dude,
get a
that's an
fine
awesome
for that.
idea.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, is it really? Don't
What
we
are-
have an
what are they gonna
obligation to
learn?
murder these people?
Yes.
I swear. That's why I told Sarah. I said, the fight happens, right? And we're not 100% a part of that community. We see it from the outside looking in sometimes and stuff. And you think like we've come a long way in the last 150 years. It's been, we've made progress. We've gotten there, whatever. But you don't get to see it as much as they do, the black community or, Black Lives Matter movement.
Well, I mean, they're just
you know.
loudest about it.
Right. The shit is alive and kicking,
Yep.
bro.
Yep.
The fucking racism, bigotry is, we just don't surround ourselves with people like that, but there are groups of people that are like that.
Right.
Mostly conservative Christian people that are like that.
I personally don't care. Because, I mean, everybody dislikes someone for something.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of making racism like the default worst thing that you can do is fucking stupid.
I got you.
It's like if you hate somebody for being stupid or ignorant or whatever, it's like that's more acceptable than hating somebody for their color. It's all stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hate somebody, who gives a fuck why?
Right.
So the idea of kind of making a list of, oh, this is the worst kind of hate, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
sure.
agree with that.
I recently came across a thing. It's kind of like an idea. I guess you guys could talk about this for a minute. Like we were talking about Marvel movies and stuff, and somebody was like, "Oh, I hope they don't whitewash this role." Where it's like, all right, you got a white guy that could fill this role. They hate it because it's taken away from people of color. But if you give some like a person of color a traditionally white person role, they're like, oh, that's brave.
Right.
So brave.
Thank God they're leveling the playing field.
Yeah.
But it's like if you have like a little league game or whatever going on, and the one kid's really good, and they're like, oh, well, he has to strike out for this first game, and it's like, oh, you could take away from this group because they're in an advantaged position, but you can't from this one because it's racist.
Right.
And the fact that there isn't equality there, it's like, it's annoying
Yeah. It
Okay.
should be.
for a number of reasons. But what do you guys think?
No, You go ahead.
Oh no, I'm with you in the fact of like the traditionally white roles as far as that's concerned, because a lot have been traditionally white over the years, and that was like I feel by design just because of the way the world was back then, especially when they were writing these comics that are being made now for superhero movies, and it's almost like the same when you're talking about them putting a female in a male role that has been a male role since like the comic strip come out or some shit.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, they're so brave and shit. But in general, I think that you're right in a sense that we're like overly giving the credit to those positions. You know what I mean? Like we're going like way out of our way to be like, that's so brave, and I don't know, like it'd be, I don't know how to
Why not
express
just
the
moving
feeling.
forward have
Like we're all
like
brave.
appropriate roles? I mean, in this example, right roles for everybody rather than just white people.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
you don't have to whitewash things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they do that to scripts, they do that to wording of dialogue and stuff like that. They whitewash. But no, you're right. I just don't feel like they should overtly like put that with the basis of. But if the person of color is like blown out of like the water and they're so good at this role, give it to them. If the white person is amazing for the role, give it to them.
Right.
And then we're all great for doing said thing.
Yeah.
No matter if it's white,
I feel
black,
like
Mexican.
if equality is the end goal, I mean, that's what equality would be. It's you don't give someone a role because they're black. You don't give someone the role because they're white. You give it to them because they're best for the job.
Best for the job.
I think part of the problem is putting so much emphasis on someone because they look a certain way. Oh, look at this white guy over here. Like, I mean,
And
why has he got to be white? Why has he got to be black? They do that stuff in news stories all the time. White cop shoots
Oh yeah.
black guy. Like,
So I think too that
Mexican cops never shoot anybody.
they're
I
just
feel like you
too
walk backwards
sweet.
too when it's when you put so much emphasis on the color, and even if it's like they're a good news story and they're putting emphasis on the color and emphasis on like we have to go out of our way to do this thing for this group of people,
Black
you
man
actually
carries
fucking
old lady's
reverse
groceries
that
home.
whole thing.
What color was
and
the
make
lady?
People hate not more, but pay attention to the race part more. You know what I mean? So then it becomes an unequal position to stand in when you're constantly worried about being correct in your, I don't know, views on race,
Right.
And,
Like
and
your
shit
wording
like that.
and yeah.
So I don't know if we walk backwards in trying to be overly compensating for the past, and then
It definitely is. I mean, I don't see why we can't just say this person.
this.
Why is that so hard? Look at what this person did. Not look what this black dude did. And he was so kind.
Well,
I
then
mean,
you'd have to judge people on what they've actually done.
yeah, and that's just ridiculous.
Can't have that.
Yeah.
So I was in jail in Floyd
Nuh-uh.
County, Indiana, right, for quite a while, and I was there, and I didn't want to spend money on I didn't have money to spend on a haircut, right, and I didn't. I was on a waiting list for like a month, 2 months, something like that. My hair gets super long, way past my ears, and I could comb it out. It was so weird. So, anyways, I was like, everybody get a razor for the shaving day. They'll give you this like one blade razor. It's the shittiest razor you could ever find.
Yeah.
And everybody get one and give it to me. I'm going to go into the bathroom and I'm going to shave it. They only give you like 15 minutes with them. You have to return them. And I'm sitting there like trying to shave my head. I mean, I get like a few patches. They're the worst fucking razors you've ever seen in your life. I get a few patches off my head and they call for the razors again. So I'm like, son of a bitch. And I like got to give them to them. They're like threatening to lock me down if I don't bring them. So I got to fucking like take this walk to the CO, like through, it was past like the female dorms and past these other male dorms to give this, these ladies, and people were just fucking like pointing and laughing. I looked like I had, what's that, mange? And there was just patches and stuff everywhere, little squares in my head. And so my deal was I go back to the dorm and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get some they have this cream that you put, and then you wipe it off, and it shaves it like Nair, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll do that. I'll buy a whole thing of that. I'll put it in my hair, and then I'll take the rest off. I'll be completely bald.
Yeah.
And it worked, and it burned, and it fucking was terrible.
It burned.
But I got on like the working crew, and just because they have it's called Gaylords, and the Aryan Nation is over in
like
Floyd
a
County.
skinhead.
Every fucking Aryan brother or whatever you want to call them was like automatically didn't matter like what my views were, what my opinions were. They were all like they would do the fucking whatever this is, and that was I was like I was grouped in with them
just
because I
white
had
man.
my head bald, and it was so weird to me. I was like, how does this signify I want to be a part of your hate group?
They're fucking skinheads.
Yeah, that doesn't come with a lot of intelligence. I don't think.
You should have just said, I just have cancer. I don't agree with you. I guess that would...
I have no opinions on your things. I just have cancer. I hate no one. I'm just dying.
Stop fucking Hail Hitlering me.
That kind of reminded me of a thing that ties into the supernatural shit. It's like there's this dude, Randy something or other. He's like an old guy. He was a magician for a while. Mm-hmm. And he had this society or foundation or whatever to where he would give somebody $1 million if they could prove that there was some kind of like supernatural, otherworldly shit going on. And, people would come and they'd try and they'd fail and shit. But there was this dude who had hair kind of like yours because like he just had like a spot here and like a spot here and the rest of it was bald. And I was like, why is this fucking dude doing that? But I guess that's just how his hair is.
Yeah.
But he went to MIT, and he had this ability, he said, to read his computer's memory, whether it was off or on.
That's crazy.
And people had these like sensors that would like read their minds in a sense and transfer it to the computer, and then he would read it from the computer. And they wanted him down. They were like, we're going to make sure you don't have any kind of sensors or anything on you. And he's like, yeah, that's cool, man. So, what the fuck? I think the first guy, he had the first guy pick a card. And he was like, all right, now think about it. And it registered in the computer. And he was like, he picked his card.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, so is that good for the first set? Because he had to do it like 3 things. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, yeah, that's cool, man. So then in the second thing, he had the guy search for an image, like on the internet. And he's like, it could be anything you want. Just search for it, find it, look at it, and think about it. So the guy did, and he was like, all right, I'm going to draw it now. And he drew it. I mean, like, it wasn't exact because the guy can't draw for shit. Right. But it was like, that is obviously the same thing.
Yeah.
So he was like, are you going to accept this? He was like, yeah, that's cool.
Nope.
And then, he closed the computer at that point. Mm-hmm. And then the third one, God, what the fuck was it? The guy, okay. He had the guy, Randy, that was like doing the thing. He was like, okay, now think of a geometric shape. And I'm going to draw it.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. And then, he had Randy draw it. Like he drew it on a piece of paper and nobody saw it. And it was like a triangle and then like a triangle above it.
Yeah.
So they were like touching. It was like an 8, but with triangles. And the guy drew the same damn thing.
Oh my God.
And he was like, so is that good? He's like, yeah, that's good.
That's fucking crazy.
And
so how do you explain that?
I don't know.
Did he get $1 million?
He declined it.
Oh.
But he ended up, Randy wrote him a check for $10,000 because that's like the thing that they do is like, here's your $10,000 now. And in good faith, we'll have it for you within like 24 or 48 hours.
Yeah.
The guy was like, nah, I just wanted to do it.
Yeah. And then, you think about just doing that and proving that to them and then other people, you would probably gain more in the long run by, now your name's out there and your abilities are out there. You'd gain more in the long run than just their little $1 million that they gave you then. But I'd have a hard time saying no to $1 million.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need it because he went to MIT. So
right.
no worries
that's
there.
the only part of the story that I don't believe.
But
I believe all the other stuff, but him turning down $1 million, I'm like,
they gave him a degree or whatever in wonder.
Really?
The Korean Wonder.
And he
That's
he works
awesome.
for Disney.
That's so perfect. That's so good for him.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty awesome. So he's
wonder
like, yeah, I take these things that seem impossible and I just find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would love to. I need to meet this person.
You never will.
Why?
He was the way
Take
that
me to see him.
He was the way that I got into watching the Penn and Teller shit. Because
Really?
like he was the first guy that I watched a video of. Because
Yeah.
like I had seen the Randy thing, and then it was like this dude over here. He's like, he fools Penn and Teller. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
All right, and then I just kept going.
Well, I need to
Down the
see this
rabbit
guy.
hole.
I could watch just an infinite number of videos of this guy doing that.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I want to see that shit.
Yeah, because I'd like to know how many times he's off and how many times he's on over the
Even-
course of like 100, let's say 100, 200
Yeah.
guesses.
Well, I figure if Randy's willing to give him $1 million and he's got MIT and Disney sucking his dick, he's probably not wrong a lot.
No.
Pretty on.
Even if he was, a few times, it wouldn't matter to me.
Right.
Because you don't know however the fuck he does it, if the person, say their mind is cluttered. I mean, say he's trying to do it to Adam and he just has thoughts up there going all left and right. Like he could get, for sure, lost in translation. But I wouldn't care. I'd be like, yeah, I believe in you. I want that guy to come here and do that. We got to find him.
That'd be cool as shit.
I bet he would do the podcast. No. Listen, he turned down $1 million. He's doing the podcast. He'd be like, I love that idea. Yeah.
I don't have anything more important to do.
Yeah.
I don't need money.
And I get a free meal. Cool.
Oh man, you guys watch Grey's Anatomy? Cool.
He's like, that's my favorite show. I like this idea.
That's all I had.
Yeah, I recently found out that
That's a good one.
the DOD has their hand in every production, in every film in Hollywood that's made and comes out, and even other media outlets like Netflix and things like this. They have contracts. The DOD have contracts with them that anytime that these companies want to use their warships or any of their equipment or anything, or their military men for any shot, that the DOD has the right to change the script and anything within the film, like the sets, anything like that. They have there's actually a list as well on their website that give you the list of movies that they have been a part of and what they had tweaked within the movie, so that any movie that comes out depicts the military as just and right and moral in a sense, right? And it never puts them in a bad light. And those movies that disagree with that usually don't become like blockbusters. They get shelved a lot of the time, stuff like this. Kind of like Captain America or Transformers are probably on that list because they use the ships. And it's just baffling that they have such a reach within Hollywood. And then there's still people that don't believe that like propaganda's a thing, right? We propagandize the military being this wonderful place where we do everything right, and everybody loves us when we come to their country and change everything about their world and shit like that.
We're not
It's just
killing people.
yeah, we give it, and that's you think about the people who back the military and stuff. And I used to be that like fucking like dead on. I love the military. I love the people who serve this country, and I still do. I respect them making a decision to sacrifice their life and their family for all that. That's the beautiful thing, right? But I don't agree with the reasoning like you're doing. I don't agree if it was truly like we're fighting against like a common enemy and shit like that, and somebody's killing us. But in general, the U.S. loves to police the world and try to make the world conform to our views and our opinions and capitalism and all this other shit. And more often than not, we leave countries 10 times worse than they ever started, right? Worse off than they were when we came in to change shit, right? So it just
What are you basing
baffling.
that on?
Well, for instance, the Afghanistan stuff that we just pulled out and whatever.
I'll give you that one.
But yeah, they become worse. There's a whole list. I will shoot you that fucking list. I've been watching them. There's a whole list of things that when we pulled out of the places or got done with them, that whatever we were fighting in that area was worse when we left. Just because when you disrupt the whole way of being for people, there are cases where we've done well and they love what we done, whatever is good. But there are a lot of cases where they're pissed off because we've left them worse off. It made it harder on the people than when we started.
So did they want us to stay?
And that's the question.
Probably.
We probably should have never went in, right? Now in Afghanistan, yeah, they probably wanted us to say so that Al Qaeda didn't fucking now they're stronger than they were when we, invaded in
They've
2001.
had 20 years to work out and shit and plan.
Yeah, and grow followers because a lot of people were pissed off at America for the way they did, and a lot of people that we victimized that shouldn't have been victimized. Now you have 20 years of kids and shit like that have grown up to, hate us and teach everybody else to hate us.
Crazy that they can get people, which, I mean, it's the same thing with any other belief, but that they can get people on board. They're like, I love the idea of terrorizing people for my beliefs. That's crazy.
Well, I think what happens is, you said something about Disney, and I know that Disney's on that list of people that have a contract with DoD.
Terrorists.
And the thing is, they get us at a young age. They pump out these commercials where they show, just think of, and I always go back to this, but Captain America, right? Since you look at this superhero that's fighting the world's battles, and he's some great, he's charming and fucking whatever, right?
If you're about to rag on Captain America, we're done.
No, you got to think
get
about
outta
it.
here.
Like the basis of Captain America is the fact that he's this, this strong dude that just saves the world and makes everything right for everybody, and
Right?
it has a lot of military implications, right? And then they start us when we're young, and with the commercials that they pump out, and they show these people that are doing these just things, and then you have a lot of people in the military that come out and be like, oh yeah, we in Vietnam or in the Afghanistan war, we raped and victimized people, and there were unjust fucking killings and
But
detentions.
that's like the shortcomings of humans.
Right.
It's like you can look at it as the general idea of the military is awesome. We defend our country, we keep people alive and all as well. But I feel like you could make the same argument for water. It's like water, man, it keeps us alive, it gives us energy, but it also drowns children.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So it's just a matter of how you use it. And
So
with people fucking up the military and the things that we put our resources towards, it's just the fallibility of humans and their greedy nature.
So you're saying our goal is moral and just and good, or
Our ideals.
our
Because that's
ideals,
what Captain
yeah.
America represents. He's the ideal
deal of.
American
Yeah.
out there kicking ass in the name of good.
But most people fall victim to those animalistic instincts, if you will.
They're like,
Yeah.
here's this ideal that I can hide behind. See, I'm over here killing children in the name of freedom.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, I gotta do this, so we
But
won't
then
be
if you
free.
but
I
if you
won't
don't
be
kill the
hero.
kids, then they'll just turn into terrorists. And we
That's
can
it,
fight them
yeah.
as well-trained adults.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm getting at. Is they go over and bomb and destroy in 2001, and then all those kids that survived, they grow up to truly hate, and that's a hate that's not even like, oh, I hate this person for being whatever. That's
Yeah.
a hate that is so deeply entrenched that there is no changing that person's mind for any reason. There's no changing that kid's mind as he's an adult or she's an adult. There's no way to get away from that pain.
I mean, if you watch
Killing
your
their
parents
family.
die because of a drone strike,
Yeah.
you're like, well, fuck America.
Crazy.
I'll
yeah.
do
And
anything I can to kill them.
I don't blame them either.
No.
You know what I mean? There's countries out there that I feel like just hate us because we used them for cheap labor or some shit, like
Right.
China, right? And I can see that, but the other one,
Well, China did it to themselves.
I think they gave
Look
up
at 'em,
that
they love
control.
it.
They were like, it's because it's a communist country. They were like, oh yeah, we'll do those for cheap. I'll just make my people do it. Then we'll grow our economy, and we'll get to a place where we're a superpower. Fuck the people. It's always fuck the people. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody thinks they're any different. Like people in America think they can cast their vote for the two-party system, and then it's like, oh, I'm taken care of. And if my person gets some good, nobody gives a fuck about you. motherfucker. I don't know why anybody thinks that they're, you know what I mean?
Well, the alternative is to overthrow the government. Nobody wants that.
Who
Too
does-
much work.
Yeah, that's what it
exactly.
is. It's too much work. But then, like, so, and that's the bad thing about, like, the January 6th. The basis of it's great, right? Fight for what you believe in.
It's kind of turning into like September 11th. January 6th.
Oh, yeah.
The day that will live in infamy.
That's one I don't agree with why they went, but let's say if you don't agree with something within your government, right, and you truly believe it. Now, given it was on a basis of, like, I believe conspiracy theory that are based in lies and based in fabrications, but when you get a group of people that are willing to fight like that, like I walk into a government building and be like, we demand this. Like, we're in a special place,
They
but...
didn't even make demands. They were just
I
waving
know.
their banners.
Yeah, but I'm saying if
We
you...
made it!
If they actually had... Because half the time when you ask those people, like, what is the fuck...
Yeah, they
what
didn't
are
have
they
a
doing?
plan.
They're like, fucking voter... trust in your voting system and all this, and they're like the cheating and whatever, but they can't ever like give you like details on what the fuck the government did to them or what the fuck the conspiracy is. It's very bland, like very watered down explanations of something that they heard on 4chan or YouTube or whatever. But what I'm getting at is when you have a group of people, now you have the media like demonizing those people, making them look just rough, like
Because they're not going to find the most articulate person.
right.
Why are you here? Well, we have these reasons here, and we've organized in this way. It's like, man, America. Yeah, let's question that guy.
I think though that they do that on purpose so that the rest of the world looks at these people and we have this whatever. We have this vision, inclination that they are just, you know, you're scum, you're terrible, you're this or that. So nobody else chooses to rise up because they don't want to look like a Q supporter or a right-wing conservative or whatever. But in general, if we all did what they did on January 6th, the government would do really whatever you wanted.
Unleash the army on us.
Well, yeah, but how many of us would it take to overthrow the military? I mean,
All of us.
Well, then it takes all of us. That's
Army
so much
wins.
it would take. I don't think the army will win
United
in that.
States of Army.
Yeah, I think, my God, look at all their weapons. They're definitely going to win.
Exactly.
You sure?
They have
Because
bigger and better weapons.
if they bomb
For
and
sure.
nuke, they're going to bomb and nuke themselves in the process.
Yeah, so they won't do that.
Yeah, so...
Well, they will, and it doesn't matter because Japan's still thriving.
But doesn't that tell you something about like the way this world is and why even try or bother with anything? Because they're going to control you and they're going to use you in whatever way they want. You know why? Because you know, just like you said, you know, we know that if we rise up to a certain extent, we all get united and all this beautiful, peaceful bullshit, that they're still going to bomb us in the end if they want to. They have a military that's not afraid to rape and kill children. They're going to fucking rape and kill you too. You know what I mean? If you try to rise up. That's the scary part, is to think you're a sovereign human in this free world and all that. But no, if you walk out of line and you step up, you're going to get bombed or raped or murdered. Right. Or all three at the same time.
Yeah, but, you know, everybody has that possibility.
Yeah.
So
It's just shit. That's just shit. I think that...
Adjust accordingly.
Do you think that we were put here to like go through that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that it helps us in our next life or whatever the afterlife is?
I don't know.
Get the fuck
It
out of
doesn't
here.
matter. It's just here we are in this imperfect place where, as human history has told us, it's just full of awful shit all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're here for that shit.
Yeah.
To say otherwise is just ridiculous.
He leaned back. Yeah.
It just, you know, I don't understand the reasoning behind it. And, you know, and therein
there's
lies
not
the
a
real
reason.
question. The question that everybody,
Makes it
this
even
is
more
why
torturous.
religions are made. This is why people come up with these beliefs and these structures, is because we don't know what the fuck we're doing here. We don't know why we have to go through suffering. We don't know why we have to go through happiness and beauty. We don't know anything. So we're like, let's make up some shit that makes us feel better. And then we'll still not feel better. We'll just pretend like we do feel better. We'll look like it. We'll act morally just to other people. We'll tell them that their views are wrong. And if they believe that, they're going to burn somewhere that's fictitious and never been
It's
proven
interesting
exists.
to me that telling people they're wrong is what's morally just.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like a
Well, that's
Christian
just people
person
being
telling
idiots.
Yeah.
talking, saying the N word, or talking about like, homosexuality. They're definitely like they're abominations and shit. And then, what do you say? What do you say? Fuck. It was that. Oh, and then like the Buddhist thing. This person
Buddhist thing.
that is Buddhist is a truly beautiful human. They cook. So they're just amazing. They just do everything.
My God,
she cooks like
cooking.
crazy. She takes care of everything. I'm going to call her she, and all this. But
Yeah,
the
I
one
mean,
thing that the whole family literally hates her for is the fact that she chose to be Buddhist, or she's from a Buddhist faith.
Because she's not Christian.
Yeah.
It's more
That makes
important. It's ridiculous. But
So
that's
what's-
just so silly to me. Like, just leave people alone. Let them do their shit.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, once you get into the deepness of their theological beliefs, it's like, hey, if you're not on this path, you're going to hell.
Yeah. Well,
that's so unfair.
just believe that and leave it alone.
Yeah,
Well,
don't push it
they
on people.
don't believe that.
Right, but I mean, if you were carrying out an action on a regular basis that I truly believed, like beyond all doubt, that was going to send you to hell, I would try to get you to stop that.
Aw, you love me.
Yes.
Oh,
But,
yeah,
and then if you look at it from that perspective, it makes a lot more sense.
yeah.
But it's also like, well, maybe don't be so stupid because
so
dumb.
you don't really understand the book in which you're hitting people with.
That episode of Grey's
Slapping him with the
when what George is talking about divorce and his mom is fucking distraught. She's like, this is your soul that we're
Yeah.
talking about. So I can see that.
Same with
It's
like
still
cults
silly.
and them. You think about people,
But I get it.
and all the lives that Scientology wrecked, just savagely wrecked for no reason. And then these other cults that you get in and you don't know and you truly believe it in the beginning, and it turns out to be some god awful thing that you've been a part of.
Right?
It's really whatever we attach to as children, because you learn these things as you're really young, and then they're a part of you in a way. Like they are your identity. It's different when, like me growing up, like we were allowed to have free thought. We stopped going to church when I was 7. I didn't get back in until I was like 17.
I was thinking it's because you were smarter than your parents when you were 4.
And it was good because I've gotten to think more. But then you also have to have it in the back of your head, like I could be wrong as well, and I could be burning in hell when I die. And that's something that I'm willing to take a risk on, because I'd rather get everybody's point of view. I'd rather be able to talk to you as a human, no matter race, religion, passions, sexuality, whatever. Like I want to just interact with you as a human.
That's
rather
because
than
you have a little smarter air about you, I guess, because you have a desire to keep learning and changing and stuff.
right.
Others that don't, you could just look at as animals that have been given intellectual potential, but instead they just use it to justify their horrible nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To
So-
defend something that is.
Yeah, it's like if
I
we
don't know,
if we
Jeff-
gave wolves religion,
Ooh.
like oh
Yeah.
yeah, this is why the sheep must die.
Yeah.
Not because I'm hungry, but because they're beneath us.
Yeah,
I really
and now
like
you
the
can
idea of a religious wolf. It's cute.
carrying around a Bible, wearing a Jesus
little
piece around their
tie.
neck.
So I think
Jesus peace.
I think sometimes about like with the evolution of religion with humans and the actual evolution of humans themselves, and how like the more fire and brimstone kind of shit to like get us to adapt morally, because like if you accept the idea that we come from monkeys, imagine trying to teach a monkey what morals are. So you have to
Right.
make it black and white, and it's like if you don't do this, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And then
That's what they do.
how we haven't really grown past that as a society, because evolution takes so goddamn
Yeah,
long.
because most
Yeah.
people are still kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And you also think like, because like I said the other day, it just made me like cringe. Like you could see it in my whole being when he was saying that, or when he was talking about the Buddhist person or whatever. It hurt to listen to. I was just like, this just the ignorance, I guess. It wasn't so much what he was saying. It is what he's saying, but the ignorance of the whole conversation, I was like, why am I in this situation? It's terrible, right? But if I choose to hate this person, or I choose to, whatever, chastise them for whatever they were doing, like I'm no different than him hating somebody for their race or their religion or something like that, right?
You're just a little bit more morally upright because you're hating him for a different reason.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, though.
You're hating him for something that he's put forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you have an understanding approach, then you're like, well, he wasn't born that way.
Yeah, kind of.
What made him that way? Okay, how can I change it? He doesn't know any better. How can you hate somebody for not knowing any better?
I know, yeah.
I can see being frustrated, but then if you hate them for not knowing any better, then it's like you're hating them for their limitations.
Right.
Just don't do any more work for him.
Yeah,
I mean, why didn't you could have just questioned him? Hey, man, why are you saying that?
I think it caught me so off guard and so like by surprise that I didn't have that moment of like, because now when it happens again, I know like the direction I'm going to take the conversation. So I wish I had known that prior to, because I would have done it right then and there.
Yeah.
But
retrospect.
I will say that when I did say stuff about the Buddha stuff, and I was like, well, honestly, man, it's like a Muslim man once told me at that gas station that I asked him ignorantly, like, what God do you pray to, or what gods do you pray to? And he just laughed and was like, he was like, it's all the same thing that we all pray to. We all call it something different, or we have different names for this thing, but God is God. There's only one being that is God.
And his name is Allah.
But he was like, we all call it something different, but it's the same thing. And that's what I told him. I was like, the Buddhist religion is no different than Christianity in the fact that they believe just to be better, do better, be peaceful, and what, all this other, be enlightened, all this other shit. I was like, and if they pray to a God, or if say Buddha, you can replace that with God. I was like, it's all the same thing. We're just all praying to some force that we don't quite understand, but we give praise to, or gratitude to, or love to. It's where all that exists and originates. I was like, and when I said that, you could just, the minute I started, dude, it glazed over and changed the subject and walked out. It was like, they just don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that it could be all those things. Just the same as my church kicking me out.
Are you saying I'm not right?
Right.
Yes.
The church kicking me out because I thought Buddhism had some basis. I thought Hinduism had some basis. All these other things that I thought could be a possibility, and that makes you not a Christian. Anything other than Jesus and God, you're out.
They're like, you can only be here if we are able to brainwash you.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we don't need that in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, it's like they're kind of the wolves there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we have this. Let's get them into that. It's like I wish whenever they chucked you, you're like, oh, if you guys are so fucking right, why don't you tell me a little bit about Gilgamesh there? What's up with that other flood shit? Where's your stuff come from?
Where's yours at, bitch? That's, man, but I thought about that too, because the person that kicked me out said that I will, what is it called? Fuck, what
Burn in hell.
No, he told him that he would disciple him.
I will disciple
he
you.
would basically teach him. Exactly. You
Why
can be
you're
here
wrong.
if you let me brainwash you.
Yeah. And I have to protect my flock. I have to protect the ones, let's face it, you have to protect your
Satan.
business. You have to protect the ones who pay the 10%, the ones that believe in this thing and to keep this business going. Of course, everybody does that. So at Amazon, union bust motherfuckers because of this fact. Same thing. You're union busting these Christians into believing some whatever thing, right? They believe anything else, you got to get that cancer out of the group and throw them away. I'm that cancer, if you were wondering, right? I'm the union guy.
I've known you were a cancer my whole life.
Yeah.
Before we met.
Get him out.
There's that motherfucker.
He's going to infect the rest of them. And so be it. If that's the way it has to be, it's the way it has to be. But it's just, it baffles me, man. And the people that, this person like that hates the most of is like a head position at the church. I'm just like, they have to brainwash you into believing that. You have to be a part of that. Because if you don't, you'll infect the rest of them. And, it changes the game. Everybody can free thought and shit like that. But that's a very subset of our society. Now imagine that through your government. If you don't believe in capitalism and all this shit. We got a military. We got atomic bombs. We got anything. Even the National Guard for that matter. They're a bunch. You get what I'm saying?
No, they're a bunch of what?
Nothing. But even those National Guard people will, stand up and defend their country against their own people because you want something different. You want better taxes. You want better whatever.
Right.
But there's people willing to do that. It's that brainwashing. You got to think this way. And then people get so ate up in their beliefs and shit that they can't get out of that.
Oh, I mean, would you rather be dirty or clean?
I'd rather be
I'm dirty
me.
right now.
Whether that's dirty or clean. But I want to know that the choices
Do
that I
you
make
shower?
are me. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Can't you smell me?
Body wash.
Body wash.
Body wash. Check out
I don't
this
know.
leg hair, brother.
How do you know that you are you because of the thoughts and emotions that you have instead
I
of
think,
what?
therefore I am.
Yeah. But how do you know that your thinking is your person
Right.
that's not brainwashed, but not, what is a motherfucking word? Yeah, by like outside sources, create your thoughts create your being. So how do you know that it's not all based on these outside forces that are tricking you into believing
That's
what they're
because,
talking about?
like, the idea of dissonance, and like when I hear something that doesn't resonate with me in a way that makes sense, I'm like, oh, all right, well, fuck that. On with this. So it's like following my gut to bring in ideas that make sense to me.
Okay.
Because I mean, nobody comes up with anything completely on their own.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a matter of, hey, what ingredients are you putting in your pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to try to make pizza out of oil.
But cool if
makes-
you could.
Let me know if you do.
Oh,
I'd like to
pizza.
record it.
But yeah, what do you think about the idea that God was the snake in the garden?
Ooh.
Ooh, instead of like I got you.
Because there's the idea that the demiurge or whatever made humanity, but he was like a flawed, less than God type thing. He was a god, but not capital G God. And he's like, here's your stupid fucking rules, and don't eat this. And then God's the snake, and he's like, he's not going to do anything. It doesn't matter. So instead of like enticing people, he's just like, I'm above this guy. It doesn't matter. Have at it. Learn shit. And then when he casts you out, then you're fine because you got the terrible part over with, and now you can start to get better.
Yeah. Even though over the course of millions of years, we still haven't got any better.
We've gotten way better.
You think so?
There are a lot fewer child sacrifices.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
And
we're totally
virgins.
different.
Yeah, we don't do that no more. So I guess so.
Yeah.
I can see that. So what you're saying is like the God put this snake or temptation in the Garden of Eden, and it wasn't it wasn't Satan.
Right. That's just how it's been twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make that guy look bad.
Right? Yeah.
And it was God just shaking the pot. He was like, let's see what this snake does to these motherfuckers.
It's been all the stories have changed over time. If you have the idea
Yeah.
of Lucifer, he's like the light bringer or whatever. So it just doesn't seem right that enlightenment and knowledge would be a bad thing
No.
unless it's to someone that just wants to control you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could say that the church is descended from that small-minded demiurge thing, and people that follow him are stupid.
Yeah.
Or we could say maybe they're right, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, they're definitely stupid.
Yeah,
But we could say maybe they're right because
We could say
maybe we're
maybe.
wrong.
indeed.
Yeah, we're not wrong.
What's gravity?
What isn't gravity?
What isn't
Pizza.
gravity? No, I mean,
I
and
had
that's,
pizza yesterday.
Come on,
Sorry.
it is.
I think about all the stories over
Pulls
the,
everybody in.
Yes.
over the years and all the different interpretations and translations and all this, and all the suppression of information, the exclusion of information and shit like that.
That's what I get for learning my A's and my B's.
Like you think about it, a lot of the information that we have could be falsified. There's we've been watching these videos about like financial gurus and all this other shit, and how a lot of the stuff that they say is false. And if you'll scroll through and see like they're like say this quote and they'll put Albert Einstein on it or this or that, and then you'll have 1,000, 2,000, 1,000,000 people share this stupid quote that was supposedly from Albert Einstein. And looking back in history, it was never said by Albert Einstein ever. Never wrote down, never documented, nothing, because people make up the narrative to which they fit their whatever they're selling you and shit like that. And a lot of people buy into it. Trust me, I was like that guy that thought drop shipping would be a thing and shit like that. But it was based off of information that was a lie. A lot of these people sell you a thing that could make you rich and famous, but the way that they're being rich and famous is by selling this thing, not by doing the thing.
Right.
And a lot of people want to buy into these like getting rich quick or fast money deals and shit like that. And it's not like that. It takes hard work and it sucks.
Well, yeah,
dick.
but when you're surrounded by idiots that'll buy into that shit, why shouldn't you get rich on it?
Why not? Like, I swear, dude. Why not take advantage of stupid people? Because, I mean, if they don't know any better to,
why would you?
Because you can.
Then you're just part of the problem.
Yeah, but you're a rich part of the problem.
Who cares?
I mean, I don't think you should do it.
Yeah, but that's.
But you're saying that you can see why they would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in America with it being an individualistic society.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you can get the idiots to buy into your shit and you can get rich in the process, why not? It's like when Alan Watts talks about
if you want
America
something
and
different,
Russia.
If you want your environment to be better, you have to be the example. You can't also be a piece of shit, because then nothing changes.
Joel Osteen has shown that you can.
I mean, you can. I'm saying, why would you?
Oh, well, I mean, it's just because it's not everybody's goal to make the world better.
It's true.
Because, I mean, it does kind of seem like a, what the hell? I don't know, impossible. So it's like, you could try all you want, and
it does seem
John Lennon and Martin Luther King couldn't make the world
right.
gold, so why can I? Why shouldn't I just get rich on the backs of the idiots?
Yeah.
No fucking shit, bro.
Yeah. And then, if we can't carve out a place for ourselves that's better than the idiots, then maybe we're idiots too. And we deserve the shit that we have.
Yeah.
And do you want to be a broke martyr? Do you want to be a suffering martyr? Or would you rather, get it while you're here, I guess, if you will. You just said something. We're an individualistic society, right?
Right.
That is so good. Because
Thanks, man.
in everything that I've done
Gandhi said that.
in a while in a little while, like we made that video together, or we make this podcast together, or say I do a video with Jasper or whatever, right?
You do all the work. I'm just there.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't feel that way, but I do feel that individualism. I always say it like this so I can get it out right. Sorry. I feel that pop up in some of the things I do. And then even like the work and stuff, even though it literally is me, like I give a lot of credit to Sarah and how that goes down, because I try to fight that urge, because we all have it. I feel like I'm a very caring, loving, like give you the credit type of guy, like praise you type of person. But I still feel that urge to be like, no, I want to put this out, or I want to put my name on it, or my logo at the end, so people know that I did it. Even though I'm trying to be this better person, like we did it as a group.
You still deserve credit.
But yeah, I'm getting at like,
that's
you
the thing where
shouldn't do all the credit.
You're trying to be better, which means like there's just instinctively that part within you as a human to where you're like, I want the credit for this. I fucking did it. But to bring it back to pizza, you're the crust, and like you make up the majority of what's happening.
And there's other topics.
You make the majority of it, but what's pizza without sauce? So I mean, if you're trying to fight the sauce into like, I am the pizza, then you're an asshole, and everybody's gonna eat a crustless pizza.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that are that fucking like, that person that they're like, I am the whatever, and I'd like to think that a lot of those people fell miserably. Even if they win in the short term, they like lose in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they will, because I try, and I know I have it. So that's just a thing that's deeply entrenched in us, and that hero's journey. I am the one that fucking like, I'm going to change the world, not like let's all change the world together.
Yeah.
And then even when they do get in a group, you always have that one person that they're like, they want to be like the leader of the group. They want to say that they led the group, the charge, the whatever.
Yeah.
And it's rough, man. It's hard not to do that when you create something or do something, to hand that credit over. But I don't know. I think there's something in handing the credit over and taking no credit whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
It's like,
I don't say do it all the time.
The whole idea of the loudest person in the room knows the least.
Yeah.
So, if you're just demanding credit and attention for what you've done, it's like, do you really deserve it? Or are you just trying to make people believe that you do?
Yeah. Is it better to just be recognized in the end? Like unknowingly recognized?
I think if you're in it for the credit, you're an idiot.
That's the real thing right there. If you're in it for the credit, you're probably going to lose anyways.
Yeah.
No matter, even if you do win, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I've had the crap before. It was like I was like a control freak, and I was like, I'm the one that put this together, and I did this. But if you like, in terms of like with gravel and spiders, it's like, oh yeah, I'm so fucking cool. But it wouldn't have been the same without Amy or Gary or even Chuck. But yeah, everybody brings something, and like with the podcast, you do the vast majority of the work. But if you were to have an episode where it's just you yelling into I would love to hear that. There needs to be an episode with just you, but it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
So
I thought that too. That's a good way to put it all, because like I've thought about doing my own video, and this would have never started if not for, like, I always tell you that me trying to not like impress you in a way, but it was like, I don't know, I have more of a need to work with other people than I do myself, because I have all these ideas for videos I want to put out, like myself in front of a camera, and I always talk myself out of it because I'm like, who the fuck wants to see you in front of a camera? Like, what fucking do you have? I have that thing I talk.
I do it every week. What are you talking about?
That's what I have that thing, man, and it's hard to get started when you have that thing. But if it wasn't for the people that are also on that page with me, I wouldn't do anything. Yeah. So that's why I always put the credit out there, because I don't think I'd move forward if not for the toppings.
Right. Gotta have the toppings, man. But like with your personal stuff, like if you wanted to put out videos of just you, then you should be doing it because you have something personally that you need to work out or get done. Instead of like, I hope everybody likes my fucking video. Yeah. How cool I look or smart I am.
Because of that don't do it for that recognition.
No, just do it because it's something that you need to do.
Yeah. And I think that YouTube and other social media outlets used to be that, man. And as much as I hate 4chan for what they've done, right? Okay, look, I hate them. Yeah, I love that it's the one of the last places, and I don't know if they've been taken down or highly restricted on what they can do now, but dude, 4chan, it's run by all these like hackers, right? And a lot of them are incels. A lot of them are the outcasts of the world. They're, whatever, the downtrodden. Yeah. But it was like the last free place to go and say whatever you wanted without being censored, without, being ridiculed and talk shit about. A lot of things on YouTube and all this other shit is just a copy of one another. And it's for the masses and the profit margin and whatever. It's just YouTube and all those things used to be a place you could go and you just express your feelings, what you're going through, and other people could chime in that were going through the same thing. And it was a beautiful place at one time. It quickly changed once the first YouTuber made $1 million, Yeah. Then they're like, we all got to do this. But 4chan was that. And my theory is, 4chan, if you look back at the history and when it started, all these hackers would go to, companies, and even the Wall Street thing, Occupy.
Yeah.
Even that, they started that little movement because they were just trolling banks. They were trolling. That's all they've ever done. They've never stolen from any company or anything, but they hack into their systems and troll the fuck out of them. They'll put stuff on their websites and shit like that. Right. So they're a trolling website. Don't you think that these downtrodden, the forgotten about people, if they're this good at hacking and trolling and they know how to do it, don't you think any of these like Q people, this is who I'm talking about, the Q people, I'm talking to you. Don't you think that these people got together and were like, who we could troll? The entire world.
Yeah.
are at least the United States of America. Everybody that talks shit about us, everybody that, push us into a corner and talk shit about us in high school and stuff like that. Let's just fuck with the world. And guess what they did? They fucked with the world.
Hell yeah.
With all this misinformation, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think.
See, that kind of, like, there are parallels there with, like, terrorism.
I like that.
It's like if you hold people down long enough and just rip on them, then they're gonna lash out. They kind of lashed out.
Yeah.
But then while you were saying that stuff, I thought, the incels, because there seems to be a trend of, like, people could just make fun of incels all they want. You hear incel, it's like, oh, look at this fucking loser living in his mom's basement.
Yep.
Incel means involuntarily celibate. That means they're too big of a loser for anybody to fuck.
Yeah.
And involuntarily means they can't help it.
Yeah, they're trying, but
Yeah.
no one wants
So
to.
it's like, let's feel justified in ripping on these people that can't help how big of losers they are.
Everybody
Yeah,
can
that's-
help it.
That's pretty big of you. Let's rip on the incels and feel justified. I'm strong.
They can make changes. They don't want to. No one will ever fuck them.
But they don't, I mean, if you take
Maybe
the
they
idea
want
of it
to,
being
yeah.
involuntarily, like they don't know what they're doing wrong and they don't know how to change it.
I don't see why it's my problem that they have no self-awareness.
Turning into a personal issue here, boy.
Well, I mean, it's not, but the
So
idea
kill
is like,
'em.
should
No,
we
I'm joking.
should we cut them down and feel good about it? Like the idea of drug addicts.
Right.
It's like until you accept that you have a problem and need to change it, you don't, and you can't.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's rip on incels, let's rip on drug addicts, and let's rip on people that are too stupid to understand that they're stupid
Yeah.
Yeah.
and feel big about it.
And feel big about it.
I think the people that do take pleasure in that do feel bigger that they can rip on somebody. Because let's face it, half of us are just depressed and angry at our life anyway. So any chance to like talk shit about somebody else is a beautiful thing. Like you can just push all your insecurities and shit on this person that doesn't know that they're
You see, like
celibate.
I like to do that because I love ripping on people and talking shit.
Yeah.
But not from a perspective of feeling justified or moral in it.
Right.
I'm just an asshole.
Yeah.
I like to
Hell
be
yeah.
a dick and it's funny to me.
Yeah.
But whenever people don't accept that as their motivation, fuck them.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. It's definitely about the motivation. That's why I was sitting here thinking is why do you have to feel big about it? And,
Right?
Well, just,
I think it's that superiority complex. They want to feel superior
Kill
over
them
somebody.
too.
Especially on the
them
internet too. You get a lot of like, say I'm just going here. A housewife that doesn't have any control over the situation and then the husband is kind of an asshole and I make all this happen. Shit like that. Like a housewife. And she takes care of all the kids and shit.
All
right?
these picture frames are because of me.
Yeah. Well, she goes on there and then she, finds this hateful group that she can like feel superior in a certain realm. Even though it's on the internet, you can't see these people. Now she has that control and that power. Same as like a Mel that, whatever his wife does, makes more than him. She talks shit about him all the time. Well, he goes on there and now he's a racist bigot because, and he can be, because he's in this group and he can feel superior over this one class of people or whatever. I think that we all just feel controlless over our own life. So when we get on the internet for these people that we don't quite understand, we just immediately talk shit because we feel superior to their beliefs. And in reality, we're all inferior. We're all not superior.
we all have
Those
no
are the same
control.
things, by the way.
Yes,
Said differently.
it is. It's awesome.
But, I got another one. Real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I get sent the stuff where they're like fake woke. Oh, this woke, group of people.
Right.
Right. And that's like accepting everyone for who they are and gender studies and this and that. Those are woke people. And, whatever. But then the person that like talks shit about them believes in like conservatism and Q and all that. Yeah. And they talk about the Great Awakening. So you have woke people and you have the Great Awakening. Aren't those two words the same exact word?
Yeah.
Awakening and woke. One's already there,
But there's
one's
an
getting
implication.
Yeah, one's in action and one is a...
with an implication.
Woke is like, bam, you're there. The Great
Right.
Awakening is the process of
Yeah.
becoming woke.
Okay.
So yeah.
So they're the same thing.
But they're-
No, because
one
it's
is
like,
arrived, one is getting there.
what I was going to say with the thing where you said inferior and not superior, and you're like, that's the same thing. Inferior implies that you feel negatively about it. Not superior implies that there's a balance there. There's like, you're okay with it.
Different on how you
like-
approach it.
It's like whenever you say I'm full and when you say I'm not hungry. It's like I don't have a desire to physically eat. Or I'm fucking stuffed, dude. I shouldn't have eaten that second burrito.
Yeah, one you've already done, one you're getting there.
You could argue that they're the same thing, but they're not.
Right. But when the
the
Great
same.
Awakening happens, when the Great Awakening happens and they get to said place of this enlightened whatever, right? What happens then? Are they woke at this point? Are you woke at this point, motherfucker? Because if so, join the other fake woke motherfuckers, because that's who you are.
But see, that could be part of the process where like they're all like, let's get woke, let's get, let's wake up. So
get woke.
so you do that, but then you realize that you didn't really wake up. You just woke up within the dream, so you're in another level. And then they could reassess how stupid they are and think, oh fuck, man, we're not there yet.
Right.
And then they go back to the drawing board.
Let's go back to the Great Awakening.
Way to really wake up, guys.
Yeah.
We need a reawakening.
Yeah.
A reawakening. Awakening. No, but that is something that just baffles me in the sense like this whole argument and to think about like all this fucking tragic bullshit that's going on and all this like warring between like a civil warring, not a civil war, but civil warring, right? With each other and beliefs and all. And to think about a group of incels and downtrodden outcasts behind a fucking keyboard that literally changed the course of history by some memes and some fucking word and facts that weren't real, so non-facts, whatever you want to call it. Like
Ill facts.
some fictitious bullshit that they pumped into the
Sick
thing.
facts.
And just to know, I can't wait until they come out and say, yep, this is how I did it. And not only this is how I did it, and I want to say that, but here are all the fucking like the proof and details of how we did it. Now let's make a Netflix on how you're a fucking idiot because we gotcha.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait for that day. Imagine how beautiful that would feel. Imagine how beautiful that would feel to you. That is amazing. I'm telling you, they deserve to run the country at that point, I think. Because they already have.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
Do you think it would help society if we forced everybody to eat mushrooms one day and then we say
Just rape them into
all right,
it.
yeah. And they're like, all right, so you have to do that. So you have to have the psychedelic experience. But then you have to make a 5-minute YouTube video about how you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
love
then,
that idea.
yeah. So it's like forced humility and psychedelic experience
Man,
for
I'm
society.
For
And then we go
one,
forward.
Do it or die.
I fucking love psychedelics and what they do for people. But for two, I've always said this, and you go back to like our beginning podcast. I think humility is like the best thing that you could ever do for your life is humility. Always put yourself in a state of humiliation. You know why? Because like getting on stage for like comedy or the first time you got on stage with a guitar and you're singing and shit.
The first time you fuck in a room full of people.
Yeah, just like that.
They're like, look at him.
That's-
That ain't shit.
That's true humility. And that's like that. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it when you first do something, you get that stomach feeling and it's all these butterflies, but you're also nervous and you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? Because this feels so weird. But then you're like, now I can't stop doing it because I like that feeling. And I know I'm doing something right in that. Well, that's humility because humility feels that way. Yeah. It feels humiliating at first, but it opens you up to this wider vision of what the world could be.
Yeah.
Humility is the key. And love
And
is
mushrooms.
mushrooms. That's where love comes in.
Yeah. Yes.
And you learn to love every situation that you encounter
I like that idea.
through mushrooms. But who's that guy?
Eric Stoltz.
Kaufman I don't know. Who's the guy that wanted to... the acid guy that wanted to, like, everybody on
Leary?
the planet. Yeah. Want everybody to like, take acid, and that was going to be the thing that changed the world and shit. But then he gets, like,
Just
locked up.
Leary's. Yeah. Yeah.
He fucking pumped, like, millions of hits of acid into the world. Everybody took it, and it still ended up the same, except for the leaders. I guess if Reagan and
take
shit
that
would have
shit
taken
on
it.
their own.
Somebody just needs to shoot a dart at, a political leader like that that has acid on the tip of
Just
it.
put
'Cause
it
they're not
in
going
the
to do it
water
themselves.
supply.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take much.
No.
These are all hypothetical things that we say on this
Hypothetical.
podcast.
Hypothetical.
Anything that we say about the government, anything we say about religion, or doing anything to whatever, it's all hypothetical. We're joking, by the way.
We're obviously
If
not
we
gonna
have to
drown
say
the
that shit.
retards.
No.
Yeah. If we have to
I
say
am
it's
going to put
sad.
acid in the water supply, though.
Yeah.
It's sad that we have to say that, but I'm going to say it so that like later on they don't run a news story about how we're
Whatever. You
trying
can
to
say it all you want. People are going to take from
still
it what
gonna
they
do.
You know,
want.
I gotta say, I was truly disappointed that our podcast was mentioned in the newspaper with regards to Mike, and I was like, "Oh, cool! People are gonna like come check us out, even if it's just for hate.
Yeah.
They're gonna come and check us out."
Oh, they did for that podcast alone. It started growing.
No,
but-
I just figured, there would.
more across the board.
Yeah, we'd have 40 instead,
No.
Right.
25. No,
People don't read
no.
the fucking news, though. People
No.
don't read those articles.
Dude, if that's not proof that no one reads that shit, I don't know what is. Because I
Well-
thought for sure, we're going to have like 100 on this next one.
Something else
No.
that's funny.
Maybe we just suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought
Yeah.
about that too. And then I watched a bunch of videos and been watching a bunch of videos on like the people who do
been
like
done watching.
that the algorithm chooses to win, and really the algorithm of YouTube and shit. We're the worst content to ever put on YouTube because what it values is like a 10 to 12 minute video with a lot of color in it. The headlines, they prefer you to have like, these big keywords and shit like that. There's a bunch of, and the thumbnail being really colorful, catch the attention of people, blah, blah, blah. The algorithm, an hour and a half, 2 hour fucking video, bro, it doesn't work for the
Maybe
algorithm.
we should put all our eggs in just like the audio part of it. I always I know that we have a lot of different places you can go and listen to it, but I go to YouTube for everything.
Yeah.
So,
But we have a lot of views across the board on the audio. though.
right.
You know
I
what?
just never checked that.
Oh, Jesus.
If this
what?
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 Jesus. He's
got
scared.
if you fucking go back
Stays
to
hype.
the YouTube thing, this is a sad part about it, right? And I've tried this
Yeah, boo.
before. The one that has the most views, which is quite a few of them, it's almost 1,000 and something,
The anal.
is the anal sex one.
Yeah.
Because I put anal sex in the title.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it got.
How many episodes is it going to take for you to learn how to
Just
title
put-
the fucking
Anal
episodes?
sex number 1.
Dude, I know, but
Serious deep dicking.
Titty fucking number 2.
Yeah.
I have thought though deeply. I'm like,
Dicking.
is the material, is the basis for it? Do we need to change this or that? Do we need to add graphics? Do we need to do this? And I thought about that, and I would like it. That's why I always try to tell people, put in the comments, shit. People talk shit behind your back or say some shit, or then to your face, like, it's great. Like for real, I would love an outside source to listen to a few episodes and be like, hey, this is what I truly think about your dumb shit.
Right.
Like,
I feel like they would say something though, and if they'd be like, "Oh, you need to have focused conversations," and
Right.
I'm not willing to do
Have
that.
segments. Break
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
Tell
doing
us
that.
what we're going to get before we get it.
Yeah,
that was another thing in
I
the
know.
beginning of the video.
I know how to make shit.
Yeah, ain't that
Just
crazy?
who gives
though?
a fuck?
we just don't give a fuck.
That's why dude, I'm telling you, I've thought about the same thing. I'm like, man, dude, we suck that fucking bad. But I think that a lot of people feel this way because it was another thing on the video that the world now makes you feel like anything that you do that you don't make it or you don't achieve is all your fault. It
Right.
doesn't matter, And most of it has to do with the system in which you operate. And most of
Right.
it has to do with where you were raised, what part of the country you're in. Like, it has nothing to do really with the individual, unless you just suck dick. And
Of
then,
course it does.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
then if you know
but not
your
all.
surroundings and you know what you want to accomplish, then if you can't adjust your shit to that,
Yeah.
to meet those ends, then you're a failure.
I guess really, when it comes down to it, like, I think it would be cool to have a bunch of people watch our shit. But then you get a lot more pressure if you can or cannot say this stuff. And
Yeah.
you gotta, I'm fine with the views that we have. It's wonderful. Now, if we woke up one day and we exploded, like, that would be kind of neat. But
Yeah.
So you want to be woke,
Yeah.
is what you're saying?
Maybe we'll be on Joe Rogan.
I also, though, don't like the idea. Because then, everyone's going to know who you are and, like, shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about all
And you
that.
try to go out to the record store, and there's some asshole standing there.
Yeah,
like, I heard
that
what you
record
fucking
store
said.
that exists.
Oh, there are record stores now. Are you trying to say that there's no record stores?
I was just joking.
Yeah,
clearly
it better be a
hates
joke.
them.
There have been record stores.
They're coming back.
Yeah. Don't you wish Ear Ecstasy would return?
Dude, don't fight.
every
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the time.
Those
I
little
can't believe
fucking
it was.
acoustic
Yeah.
sets out there. Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I'm with you.
I wish it would return.
Let's
Ear
just create
Ecstasy,
one.
if you're listening, give us a call.
I wonder if you can
Yeah.
still open up that name in the if it's in the files still, if they kept it, or if you can just open it now.
Do they have like a website?
Uh-huh.
No, it
Oh.
does not exist
No, it's just-
anymore.
it's gone.
Oh, that's depressing.
But you
Somehow
can go-
Better Days survived.
I know.
Because it's
real
smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it depends on how they ran it too.
Yeah,
I
I was
always,
thinking, and because their owner's not a fucking pussy.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I told her. I used to do work when I was younger for this guy that was, oddly enough, his name was Jack Harlow, but not that one, you know. And dude, I mean, this fucking, it
I
was.
didn't even know that one.
Well,
so.
He's a
tailgaters.
shitty fucking rapper from
Oh yeah, fucking
Everyone
Atherton and
loves
whatever.
him for
he's
some
a
reason.
fucking he's
Terrible.
a plant. Anyways,
Like a ficus?
no, an industry plant. They
Can we
put him
start
there.
calling him ficus?
He's a
Look at this
ficus.
fucking ficus
Fucking
over here.
ficus. So he ran this tailgater. I mean, dude, they would be fucking packed full every weekend. He had these like toga parties where they would beat the shit out of a car. You could pay to beat the shit out of a car. And I mean, he made a shitload of money, but he also created like a habit. He mismanaged money and all this other shit, right? But I mean, this thing could have fucking blown up. He's great at throwing these parties and shit.
Yeah.
But he mismanaged the money so much that they had to close down and sell and all that other shit. But you think of that, like Ear Ecstasy was so good. It had to have been the person running the thing.
Yeah,
Had to have
definitely.
How they handled finances and shit like that.
Quit it. It's creepy.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's whatever, man.
Nice. Let's get
Yeah.
out of this fucking smell, bro.
Yeah. Let's eat some fucking popcorn.
Popcorn.
No, man. This
Seriously, don't brush over popcorn.
I eat some popcorn chips, yo. Those are the shit.
I bought a bag of those. I have them in the back of my car.
Have
Yeah.
you eaten them yet?
Half of them.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
Every time I start a bag, I can't stop.
He was
till it's
sitting there.
gone.
He ate a full dinner and then ate almost the entire bag of chips. I looked at him, I said, "Are you going to eat that whole bag of chips?" He's like,
Don't ask me
upset
shit,
with
bitch.
me that I
Yeah, I was mad. I was like, "What are you talking? You gonna talk shit about my eating them chips
Yeah.
now?"
You know how good these are.
I'm gonna just fucking eat these chips on out of spite. I'll go get another bag and eat that bag out of
That's right.
spite
I
too.
ate 2 bags of chimps last night.
Chomps.
Yeah.
Chumps.
Big chimps.
Little chimp
But no.
chumps.
Oh shit. that
Yeah, you're-
peaked. But no,
Whoa.
we appreciate.
We need to get it together.
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened there. We appreciate you listening this far.
Yeah. Thanks, future Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This shitty rainy day that it might be sunny by the time it comes out.
Couch,
I love it.
Kristen, Evan, sup,
Yeah.
y'all?
Thank you all for making it this far and also listening every week. We appreciate the whatever
Evan,
that's called.
come on the podcast.
Yeah, Evan, man. You know,
Come
it's
on.
time for you to come on.
You're
Most of
awesome.
the people listening,
Yeah.
have come on before. Come on the show.
Come on.
We won't talk about too much outrageous shit.
I will.
We absolutely will, and you'll love it.
You'll love it, bro.
We
Come on
won't
the show.
start outrageous, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling out Evan. We're calling out Shelby. Come back on the show. Check us out. We're calling out Jordan Peterson. You want to come on the show?
Yeah.
Come on.
Hell
Just
yeah.
a regular guy doing regular things, you know?
Yep.
It's nothing
Pull up a
special.
chair, bucko.
Bucko.
I'd be so happy.
God, that
don't.
one would get a lot of views. People fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Good reason.
I'm just banking on any of our views coming from hate, not enjoyment.
Yeah, they're just.
We need to find some KKK people and just have them on one at a time.
For real, yeah.
No,
You're
but
the
we
KKK,
appreciate you
you're
listening,
cool.
and thank you for stopping by again for this week.
Yeah.
Again, I'm Adam. That's Ian. That's
I'm
Sarah.
Sarah.
And this is episode 134 of the Wildly Uninteresting Podcast.
Skibbity
I'm on TV.
Balls feel right.
Balls
feel tight.
Wildly Uninteresting Podcast.
Jesus.